Hi, my name is Michelle, and I would say something that would sum me up would be that I'm a very hard worker, and you can read my face. You can tell if I'm upset, you can tell if I'm happy. Um, there's no surprises here, there's nothing hidden here. It's very open. Memory bears are something I started making when my mother-in-law passed away before I got married. So um, it was actually it was a year before, so she passed away from breast cancer. So we were young, so she was young. But I had two small kids, and I was Pinteresting, and I saw something where they would make pillows or something out of shirts that were maybe some special fabric, just a textile thing. So I got the idea of, well, I'm going to make some bears for the kids so they remember her because my daughter was 2 when she passed. So there's not a lot of memory there. So, yeah, I started making the bears, and um, I've made over 100 now for people. And I just got done making a group of 6 for a lady out in California. It just, it helps me deal with my own grief. And as my dad says, it's part of my ministry. It's how I can share and just be there for somebody in a way that's a little bit different than most people can be, a little bit outside the box, and just having something that people can hold on to like that. They generally hold on to a shirt or something that they like. Oh, grandma always wore that. So it's something that they can actually put on the shelf, and it's part of their life instead of just as in the back of their mind, and it helps them grieve. But I put a lot of love into that bear, and I feel like they feel that energy once they get it back also. So we putting that energy into it, and to help be part of that suffering is what we're called to do, is to help be together. Being young, I was always sickly, always, it was hard to do more than just go to school or just go to church. If we did anything extra, I would be too sick and too tired to do anything the next day. So growing up like that, I was always able to do a lot of research, reading. I was a really good student because what else could you do? I wasn't an athlete because I couldn't go and do things like that, but I love to read and research things. So that's kind of I can do that. So I have time that I can give people. Um, when you're facing illness like that, and not sure what's going on and it not being visible, you kind of become secluded and you retreat into yourself. I didn't have a lot of friends. I wasn't able to go, do sleepovers or, just go to the park and play and ride my bike all over the place. I could ride my bike up and down the street maybe a couple times, but that was it. Like I'm done, spent. That's all I could do. Extracurricular things were difficult, um, just because I didn't have the energy to do it. And that makes you depressed as a kid. So in high school, I was, the black makeup and the headphones on and the, short spiky hair and just leave me alone because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to complain. That's another thing, is I hated being a burden, or I hated complaining about, Mom, I'm too tired, or, I can't do that, or, whatever. Negative, negative, negative is how it always felt. Um, it's hard to stay positive when everything feels, no, you can't do that for whatever reason. Go lots of doctors, lots of specialists growing up, trying to figure out what's wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. Finally, in after I graduated high school and college, I got diagnosed with chronic epstein-barr virus. So there's the regular mono that everybody kind of gets, and then there's the chronic, and that's what I got. So I basically had mono all the time, and that explained a lot of the fatigue that I had. Then I was diagnosed when I got pregnant with my son with Sjogren's syndrome, which is an autoimmune disease. And as my current doctor says, that the Sjogren's and the EBV, they feed off each other to make things kind of worse for me. Um, I then experienced major depression because there's something wrong with me. I'm not like normal people. I can't do things that I really want to do. I'm kind of stuck here. And pregnancies were difficult. They were considered high risk because of the Sjogren's having antibodies that could cause fetal heart block in the fetus. So I was blessed and completely lucky that both my kids are happy, healthy. There was no complications whatsoever. We had to keep a close eye on it and be careful, but it was fine. Um, then I had experienced a lot of anxiety, mostly around food for whatever reason. I got sick one time and I was unable to take care of the kids, and that really messed up my mind for whatever reason. I was not able to eat anything past 5 o'clock because then I wouldn't get sick. So that was rough too, dealing with that, because you can't go to family events, and anytime you go do something special or extra, you get anxiety about food. I can't eat prior, I can eat after, but only before a certain time, and it becomes a burden on people, and people are like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I really don't know, but this is just how I'm surviving." Then I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia at in my early 30s, and that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And I was just like, I can't keep just getting diagnoses all the time. Like, it's just too much. I need something else. Well, I just currently, this past 6 months, um, got diagnosed with endometriosis, and I had an ovarian cyst that actually ruptured, and I ended up in the emergency room. And I had been in and out of doctor's offices, and all they wanted to do was put me on birth control, put me on different pills, different types of hormones, this and that. And I was like, this is not working. Like, there's way more that's going on here. And so I had laparoscopic surgery, major surgery, to have the endometriosis excised. And they actually ended up taking my uterus. So I had a hysterectomy, and they cleaned up more of the cysts that were on my ovaries, but I was able to keep my ovaries. But the information that I've learned about endometriosis in the past, short while, has been really eye-opening, and having the surgery has brought me back to life. Even in the family, family would say, well, you don't look sick. You look fine. Like, yeah, I look healthy, but I'm not on the inside. There's things going on, and it's hard to be when you're dismissed like that. Or just, my grandma, she would say, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. So for a long time, I would just be quiet about a lot of it, because it was just like, okay, there's just something wrong with me. I'm trying to figure out how, Trenton. No, it's fine. um, but it is hard, and I want people to know that they're not alone out there. Yeah, I don't look sick, but I was very sick for a very long time, and even my parents, like, looking back, they're like, "Oh, well, we didn't notice, we didn't understand." And I was like, yeah, and especially when you stop talking about it. And I don't want people to be shamed into not talking about what's going on with them, physically, emotionally. It's real. Things are very real. Even if it doesn't present itself, it's presenting itself in a way that you can show it. And yeah, so that's why I want to share my stories, so people know that they're not alone, and to find that support system. Find those people that will listen to you, and that's in your community. If it's not in your family, um, there are places to find help and just support. The more you talk to people, the more they don't say things. There's a song, and it says, yeah, I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine, but I'm not. And if we would just be honest with each other, how much we could actually help people, um, and that it's okay to be vulnerable once you find those right people, of course. But it takes a lot of digging to find that diamond. They're rare. They're rare. Most people, they don't want to deal with people's problems. They brush it off, or they don't want to be vulnerable themselves, and that opens up a whole other thing of, oh, nope, I don't want to get into that because I'm just as messed up and I can't help you, or I don't want to help you because I have to help me or something. And we're all at different levels, whether we're a little bit ahead of that person or a little bit behind. We all struggle with health things, with, I mean, everything. So there's just so much out there that we can connect on a lot on a whole nother level if we were just honest. That's been my life, is, and especially after I had kids, um just the normal taking care of my kids, but it was like, today I'm going to do laundry instead of go for a walk. Today we're going to do the dishes. Like, there was one thing I could do besides just the basic necessities of taking care of the kids. And it's hard when you feel like you're holding them back on things also, just because you can't. So I was incredibly blessed that my parents, and that we live around family, my father-in-law, that they're close and they're able to do these things, take the kids and go do things that um, they thankfully didn't have to miss out on because of me. And that's hard too. Even harder than being a kid myself is having illness and trying to raise kids and not be a burden and hindrance on them. But they are wonderful because they knew when I was having an anxiety attack, a panic attack. They knew that they would bring me water, they would put extra blankets on me, and they would snuggle up next to me, keep the TV down, just to take care of me. And I'm gonna cry again. So blessed that my kids support me in that way. And they're like, Mommy, you take such good care of us. We need to take care of you too. We need to take care of each other. And that's how it is in the community. We're all family. Like, we all live in this house together. And we need to take care of each other. And whether or not you feel like you're a failure at everything, yeah, those kids, I felt like I was failing them, but they still took care of me no matter what. So, and they loved me and they accepted me. And that's a huge thing that's missing in just in general for everybody. And I just, yeah. Well, they say that, family is blood. Well, it's only skin deep, really. It doesn't uh, it doesn't matter your bloodline, your anything. We live in the same, house. The community is our home, and we live here and we work here and we play here and we live together. Living includes your emotional side, your physical, your health, your everything, and we need to support one another, just as any healthy family would need to support each other. You have to laugh, you have to cry. Like, that's just part of life. I really like cross stitching, but I like DIY crafting stuff. My love language is gifts. So giving something to somebody or receiving something that shows love. So I love to make things for people. That's for somebody else, right? That's not for me. Something that's just for me. I love campfires. It's my favorite thing. So this summer was a lot of just for me, just being able to spend the whole summer at the campground and work a little bit, but have a campfire every night. That's something I truly enjoy. My grandparents, we would go camping with them. They lived in California, whatever, so we didn't get to see them much. So when we did get to see them, we were usually camping. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But it's just I don't know, just the heat and just the comfort that a campfire is, and the feeling of the family around it is just, it's a primal thing, I think, but it's just very calming. I love learning, always have. There's nothing better. In fact, yesterday I was just watching a guy work on his Jeep, and I was like, I hope I'm not bothering you. There's not much I could do to help him, but I was just learning just by watching him. And I was like, and he's like, no, yeah, you're not bugging me at all. I'm like, you can't, there's more knowledge out there that you can't even comprehend, like, yeah, we all have our phones in our pockets, but to experience and to be in learning things. Yeah, I always loved reading. I still read all the time. I homeschool my kids so I can feed what they're interested in, what their strengths are. And I think that's important to individualize it for each person, because they're not all the same at all. And I can help them in different ways with the things that they struggle with. And I just think that's valuable. But education is just, it makes you a better person. It makes you rounded. It opens your eyes and your heart to more things out there, whether it's science or health or whatever, just learning things. So the podcast that I started, Serving Locally with Michelle, is a podcast that is spotlighting service in the Longmont and surrounding community. We go from anywhere from veterans to preschool kids to seniors to homeless to the Humane Society to food rescue stuff to working out and healthcare, all kinds of stuff. I'm sitting on like 18 episodes right now that I've been recording, and I just haven't been able to sit down and edit. That's like the biggest monster. And since I'm doing it all myself, learning how to do it, learning the software, my son is taking a couple classes at the Longmont Public Media to help me do the soundboard and camera stuff. So he's learning. He's 12. He's a bright kid and he enjoys it. He's been starting to do it at church now too, so he's getting into that. But I like learning things, so give me something new. That song is "Try Everything." That's me. I want to try everything, and even if I fail, I just want to keep just try it and see if it's something I like or I'm good at or whatever. Because how else do you know what your gifts are? But yeah, the podcast it's just this is more talking than I've ever done on like all the podcasts combined. I always tell the guests, I say, the more talking that you do, the better it is, because I just want to have the space for them. It's not anything about me. It's about them being able to share their story, their service, their organization, and then draw people that either need that service or that want to be part of that service. So there's two things. You come volunteer because, oh, I know somebody, or that affected me, and that I want to help other people in that way. And it's about finding where your heart wants to serve and going and doing that and living that. The hardest thing for any organization, community service driven thing, is just getting the word out. Finding that advertising space, finding just a way to let people know. And I'm trying to find how we can share that information in a better way, because people, like you go to one organization and they've got a couple things, and then this person, they have like maybe a couple things, but they don't connect together very well for some reason. And so I'm trying to create like a hub that you can just, like a one-stop shop of, I'm searching for this. I'm struggling right now with food. I'm struggling right now with housing. I'm struggling right now with, I just need to talk to somebody for just, I'm struggling with, I just lost a job. I just need to talk to somebody about that, or, whatever, just to connect people. It's exciting because I feel not like a failure as so much of my life has felt like. I feel like I not that it's necessarily me making a difference, but that somebody else is getting help, that maybe, like they wouldn't have been able to find another way to do that or whatever, that I was able to just to help them is great. I like serving. I started the whole thing of that I wanted to do it is serve and be served, because the more you serve others, the more you get back positive in return. It's just, if you feed out negative all the time, you're going to get negative all the time. If you feed out positive, that spreads so much, because then they spread positive. And wow, if we could spread more positive than negative, how great would it be? Walk in the grocery store and smile at each other instead of just in our phones or, you're in my way type of thing, it's just, hey, how you doing, or whatever. And be like, I'm having a rough day. Hey, you know what? I feel you, have a better day. Something like that would even be just better than just, yeah, good, okay, bye. Maybe that's all that person needed that day. It was just just that little bit of kindness. What's up? I see you.